into the explanation of the Quran. Ibn Kathir is one of the most accepted translator or explainer of the Quran. For those who want to take the easy, and also the Muyassar Tafsir is one of the book that is very clear, and each ayah is really well studied and explained. So Ibn Kathir and the corrected one, or the summary of his explanation of the Quran, as a book that you keep in your hand, and this is available on the iPhone, by the way. There is an app where you could push any ayah and you'll find all types of tafsir, and on top is Ibn Kathir. It's an easy explanation of the Quran. It's very simple. Someone is asking, is shaving the beard, is it halal? First of all, my brother, don't say salam. Say the whole full statement. Salaam Allah alaykum wa rahmatuhu wa barakatuh. This is not respectful to just say. I will reply to you alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh as respectful answer. But shaving the beard is not allowed, and there is so many hadith from the Sunnah that shows that, and you will find a lot of explained talk about this issue. What is the rule about the person who cursed Allah Azza wa Jal, and his wife came to complain about him? Is it automatic division, separation, divorce, because he is reverted from Islam? What is the rule about the ignorance? So you could use it as an excuse or not excuse. Without a doubt, cursing Allah Azza wa Jal or His Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is from the disbelief that is very clear, and the reversion from Islam, from the ugliest sin that could be done, and the greatest in the sight of Allah the Almighty. By cursing Allah or His Messenger, your faith is voided, and the safety of those of people are stopped, and brings the worst punishment. It is where the lives could be spent when there is capability of this. I want to stress on this to establish the establishing the rules of Allah has to do with the state, not with the individual. If you hear somebody curse Allah or His Messenger, you don't go as an individual to do that. No, this is it's on the responsibility of the state, not on the individuals. But we are talking about the fact. What does it do? What is the government or the state supposed to do, the Islamic State here, if it exists, on what to do in here? Because the person is getting out of Islam, and he will not be protected, and the bloodshed could be established whenever the situation is there. The marriage, my brother, is not avoided just because somebody reverted. Only when it's stated, when the period of waiting is there, because Allah said, whomever gets out of Islam and he is disbeliever, those are the one who wasted their actions in this life and the hereafter, and they are in the hellfire eternally. So whomever came with some of the things that bring him out of Islam, the marriage is put on pause. You put it on hold. You pause it, and then you look into the person. If he came back to Islam and he repented during the waiting period, then they're still on their original marriage, and they don't need to have a new one. If the period is expired, then it is voided by Allah Azza wa Jal, but it needs to be redone if the person came back. because the husband has to show that he has repented, but this is only done through the authority. So it will have to be done through the legal actions. The companions never asked those who came back to Islam to redo their marriage contracts. So we need to re-look into this. Just because somebody reverted from Islam, it does not automatically mean you're out of Islam. It means that the marriage is put on hold, on pause. Then you look at the husband. If he stayed on his disbelief until the waiting period is done, then it is done Islamically, but it has to be done legally. So the life will continue with no chaos. And as I mentioned, the companions never asked those who reverted from Islam, who came back to Islam, to redo their marriage contracts again. Now, the excuse that you are ignorant, what ignorance do you have when you're cursing Allah Azza wa Jal? Unless if this word is considered a curse, if that word or statement could be cursing or could be something else, then you ask, you look into the details. But in the mind of everybody, all humanities, they have to glorify Allah and His messengers. And this is and in this, no one is excused of ignorance, but could be of the wording, the vocabulary. Some of the vocabulary could be indicate different things. So it could be a curse, but it could be not. It depends on the culture too, or in the culture of somebody, or it could not be too different. I'll give you an example. Put in the Quran on the floor. Some people consider it a humiliation to the Quran and say they think all the tablets in their companions' houses, it was on the floor. But the curse that we all agree that it is a sin, there's nobody's excused. No one is accused of ignorance, because glorifying Allah and His Messenger is something that is settled in all the religions, all nature, in all societies, all civilizations, all cultures. Someone who think that it is okay to curse Allah is somebody who is insane. Question in English. I have a medical issue and I have a urine tripping issue in a medical condition in my process. I want advice from some ulama. I am using tissues to be placed in my underwear before doing the wudu for prayers to keep my clothes safe. I would like to proceed to perform Umrah as needed. What do I need to do? Well, the person who make the haram, he need to stay away from anything that is designed for like the shirt, the pants, whether it is long or short. Also, the diaper. So if you want to put a diaper to prevent the urine, also that's part of it too. It looks like the small, but whomever needs to wear a diaper for a medical issue, like this person with this, there's no problem. And he have to make a fidya to feed 6 needy, or to fast 3 days, or slaughter an animal. Because Allah said, whomever was sick or he have a harm in his head, to make fidya of fasting or charity. And the hadith of Abdullah ibn Maqil, who said, I sat to Ka'b ibn Udra, may Allah be pleased with him, and I asked him about the fidya. He said, it came to especially and for all of you in general. I was taken to the Prophet ﷺ, and the insects were coming out of my face, and he said, I didn't know that the pain to come to you this much. He said, can you afford a slaughter animal? He said, then fast 3 days. Or feed 6 needy. For each one, half a sa' of food. And to do it for the dabber is out of safeguard, not because of the thing that is, because some scholars they said it is something that's forgiven if done, but to take it, it is better, inshallah, and hopefully it's not going to overburden you. A man, he had an idea for a project. He worked with his uncle as a manager for a bank. Can he sell to his uncle and take his uncle's money? His uncle works in a bank. His income is not right. So he's gonna give me some money from non-permissible places. And feel like the cologne, he will bring everybody to buy from him. Is there a problem? Because the money is from a legitimate place. I sell, my brother, sell the permissible things to my very wish, whether it is a calamity or service. And don't ask about how they gain their money. That's not your responsibility. The forbidden part of the earning the money goes into the person who earned it, not to you. And does not transfer to the other person that went through a legitimate way of selling, buying, inheritance, and all of that. Because every soul is responsible for its earning. The Prophet ﷺ, he dealt with the Jews in the Medina, selling, buying. He accepted their invitation to eat, and he knew they take the riba, and they were forbidden to do that, and they eat people's money unjustly. So every person on what he earned is responsible. And you are part of this big globe that God created. We buy and sell from non-Muslims who goes to east and west. They go to everywhere to eat and drink and medicine, everything. And they buy from it, and they don't know what is the legitimate of the money that is earned. Allah didn't ask us to go beyond to that. Otherwise, we will be harsh, and no person will be able to trade. Another one is asking, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, do not kill your kids out of fear of poverty. That including the ones in the wombs of their kids and their mother, those who are not born yet. Maybe they don't want to have kids because they are poor. Are they going, if they want an abortion, are they going to be sinned just like first of all, you are supposed to look for the good kids out of marriage, because that's the best thing in the marriage. In hadith of Ahlul Malik, marry the one who is nice and could have kids, because I'm going to pride myself on how many followers among the prophets. A man came to the Prophet and he said, I had married a woman that is from nice, but she is not going to have kids. And the second one, the same thing. And then the third one, he said, marry the one who's nice and who could have kids. Because money and the kids is the garment of this life. So one of the purposes of marriage is to have kids. And the hadith that all of you know, if the person dies, all his deeds are stopped except 3: a continuous charity, or a knowledgeable, beneficial knowledge, or a righteous kid who make dua for him. And because of that, the Sharia has forbidden not to have kids, meaning to completely stop the kid, but it allowed some kind of control, like to make the period between the kids very longer, especially when there's health issues. But the only thing, do not do it because of fear of poverty. Because every soul that Allah blew in it, it will have a sustenance before it comes out to life. Allah said, everything that moves on this earth, Allah Azza wa Jalla gives that sustenance. Allah, He gives it, and you the sustenance. And Allah is listener and seer and knowledgeable. The Prophet ﷺ said, one of you, he will be gathered in his creations in his mother's womb 40 days. Then he will be clothed. And then 40 more days, and then he will be like that another. Then an angel will come and ask for four things. Write his actions, his sustenance, his age, is he going to be happy or sad or miserable. And one of you will not know what's between him and the people of the Jannah all his life, but when he's almost dying and there is nothing like an arm with, and the book of Allah, what is written in it, will compete, and he will do an action of the wrongdoers, and he'll be thrown in the hellfire, and vice versa. So go back to the question: is this sinful to not to have internal sex? That there's Jabir said that we used to make azal, which means they came outside, and then it reached to the Prophet and he did not stop us. He did not tell us not to. Also, his hadith that a man asked the Prophet, I have a woman that I own, and I do not come inside. And he said nothing to him. He said, she get married. So he alayhi salam, I am the servant of Allah and His Messenger. And I told you this is not going to stop something Allah Azza wa Jal wants. There is no truth to the saying that the azal is the small killing. No. And the man said that the Jews are saying to come outside it is the small killing. He said no, they are liars. And Umar and Ali said that it's not going to be crime until but it has to be with consultation with the husband and wife, because the right is not only for the husband, it has to be with the acceptance of the woman too, because they both want the kids. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he forbids that the free will not be coming outside except with the permission of her, because that will reduce the enjoyment for her. So without her permission will be a reduction of her enjoyment, and it will be a missed opportunity for having the kids. Unless there is a harm, then it is a permission in summary, my son, that you stop of having kids because of poverty. This is a wrong assumption of Allah. Allah the Almighty has guaranteed the sustenance of those who are in the world, and He put the angel to put his sustenance before he even came out. And He's the one who descended on His messenger. And every David who does not hold his sustenance, Allah give you His sustenance and with you. And if there is other reason, then you have to look into it. Some are legitimate, some are not. There's a case of divorce, and the woman is saying that he divorced her, and and he refusing to sign the court. He said that they are not divorced. Well, my sister, we heard from you. We do not hear from him. We have to hear from both sides. If you say that you have a divorce, a civilian one, because you said separation, did you get a civil divorce? That divorce paper takes care of the civilian part. You're not a wife in front of the law, but in the Shar, it is for those in the husband. If he held to harm, then the Islamic judgment. If it's not outside the Islamic centers, you go to the Islamic centers or represent the Islamic court. At their look, he will call the husband. He tried to convince him. He tried to intercede to release you in goodness. If he refused, and he wants to harm you, and he refused to abide with the rule of Allah, and to accept the arbitration of the Islamic centers, then the person in the Islamic center has the right to divorce you. After looking into the situation and hearing the husband side, because that's the right. And I advise all the Islamic centers not to rush into judgment before you hear from both parties, and you have to look at all the facts, because we hear a lot of times the husband comes to you almost disbelieve in Allah, and he keeps saying the disbelievers, they take care of people more than others. They don't divorce someone in absentee. They do every part to 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 advertise, to try to reach him, to hear from him. So not because you hear something, you immediately run to judgment. No, you have to do your effort and try to reach the other party to hear from him. Maybe Allah Azza wa Jal will put the correction and solve the problem that they have. Because if you are successful to that, you are the best of people. You are better than all the extra prayers and fasting. So, if he insisted and he refused to listen to Allah Azza wa Jal and His rules, then those who do not come with gentleness, then you have to use the force on him. Second question. Sometimes during the prayers, I have some imaginary things. And I think about this and that, and I forget. Did I pray 3, 4? So I keep and make another rak'ah. After I make salah, I always add an extra rak'ah as a spare. Is that accepted? Because I add that prayer because of I'm afraid of one lesson. Well, my son, go back to the rules. Whoever had doubt in his prayer, then you do the least. You don't know whether it's 3 or 4, then make it 3 and then you bring the 4 while you're still in the prayers before you make salam. Don't make salam and then add. No. And you thought that it is listen, then you bring the rak'ah. Unless of always in a doubt, who have that problem, then in your right time, don't leave that doubt behind. Don't even bother. Don't let it bother you. And to do what is more, not the least. to stop the shaitan who brought you those ideas to worsen the enjoyment of the prayers. So leave these whispering behind you. Don't bring this rak'ah after the salam. We don't know anybody who said that you need to do that. You make sujood sahu not to add a whole rak'ah that's separate after salam. Allah knows the best. Someone who memorized people from Quran, he made an agreement to give it away to make him murad the Quran with the least fees. So the person bring half of the money he used to make for the academy, and the person he take it more than what he used to get from the academy. Is that right or no? My son, that the places of memorization of the Quran and those academies, they make agreement with that he does not work while he's working with them, and that could take even after their separation. Could be long or short. He interned, he took the network of the academy, and then he's taking those students, he takes them out of the academy so he could agree with them, and he makes the academy lose that money, that income. That's not how things are done. Or who you believe, fulfill the contracts and fulfill the covenant if you are responsible for it. If it is like that, because Muslims are under conditions. If they have conditioned on you, and what is known, unless it is a condition that will forbid something Allah Azza wa Jalla has allowed, or vice versa. So after I finished my work, someone came to me as a student, not through this area, in my house, and somebody brought him to me. Now it's a different situation, but to take someone from the academy, that is not right. So you take those students out of the academy so you could prevent the academy from making the money. This is like these selling of your brothers. So that's not allowed. Neither immorality or the cultures or the laws of Allah. The last question. Okay, there is a credit card from Araji. It has money that take every time. I sell or buy from the credit. Well, I know Rashi, they go with the rules of Allah. But if it is like you explained, I hope that you are dealing with that credit card is allowed. When it is allowed, it did not say that if you are late, you have to pay late fees. Because the fees on the loans is riba. The credit card in general, I have said several times, and I'm going to remind you all again, it means that you can get certain services or merchandise, and you get a grace period, and then after that you have to pay interest, late fees. The Islamic companies, they take that out. Originally in those card that has the wrong part, so what do? We live in the West. You have no Islamic credit card. What you have available, the credit card, the reward, that is not came from the riba place. It's very important need for it. So to have That's why the condition of the fiqh that it is allowed to get those card if there is a desperate need for it and there is no other alternative. And you thought who deal with it is capability of paying it without going to that condition of riba. And it will not be used except at the time of need. And not too late and to stop whenever that need is done. Because what is allowed for necessity is mainly for that. And you cannot take the cash from except where there's emergency. Why? Because once you buy because when you buy on credit there's grace period, but if there's cash there is no grace period, so you start paying interest immediately. So you cannot use cash withdrawal except when there's necessity. The debit card is different. It's taken from your own money and it's less risky. So, so nothing wrong of getting these kind of debit card because it's not going to have any loan. You're just taking and using your own money. And you cannot use these cards if you know that your account does not have enough money. Sometimes the credit card, if you overdraft it, then you have to pay. They will make you pay more. It is forbidden to begin with because it's very painful financially. Because the bank you will start the fees immediately, and you have put yourself in a trap of the shaitan that Allah Azza wa Jalla has forbidden. Unless they have given you a grace period and you are sure that you are able to pay before those interests start acting. Next question. I can buy a share in the clinic I work. Someone wants to buy a share. The building was bought through a loan. After paying the company, I could get everything except the money that is left for the bank. It could be take 6 or 7 years. Let's go as a partner. Is that forbidden or no? Yeah, you have taken him all his financial, all the things that he is. You took the name Zaid and put Amr. So riba went from this partner to you. So original is not, and then you look at what is the necessity. Unless you think that you can refinance Islamically. We'll come to the conclusion of today. Inshallah, معكم